Well, hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Spooky, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day or night, no matter where you are in the world. I'm not having the best day. I'm so disappointed. So today I found out that apparently the beta for First Descendant has launched, and I didn't get in. I didn't get in. I regrettably didn't make it in, and I would like to, and I really wanted to, and I wanted to review this game and take a look at it, but it's I guess they're prioritizing larger creators and not giving out beta to any of the smaller creators. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer. But I figured I won't leave you guys empty-handed. There is a creator who did make a video on it, because that's cool. They actually got a video. That's cool. They actually got to try out the fucking beta, and I fucking didn't. So let's take a look at it. This is not it. This is just me. I run this footage all day, all the time. Let's get a little peep into what this is. Do I have audio coming out of my speakers? Yeah, we got something. All right, here we go. So let's take a look, and no judgment, no anger, just purely watching the First Descendant reaction. There's someone else playing it and getting into the beta that I didn't get into. That's fine. I won't be salty. It's gonna be fine.
With a hail of bullets, an array of supernatural abilities, and towering boss enemies, it's hard not to get swept up in the fervor of a promising new looter shooter.
I know. I'd love to get swept up.
And welcome back to Legacy Gaming. Today our team is bringing you a special look at Nexon's upcoming game, The First Descendant, and sharing our brutally honest impressions after a combined 50 hours of testing during a special preview.
It just looks so good. Like, come on, let me into the beta. God damn it. Come on. Just let me play the goddamn game.
Event.
Yeah, sick intro.
The First Descendant.
You know what? Did I roll my intro? You know what? Fuck it. Roll my intro. Go. Boom. There it is. That's sick, huh? That looks good. That's a good intro. Yeah. Not bad. Sorry. Let's get back into the video.
Is a fast-paced, free-to-play looter shooter coming at us from the Korean developer Nexon. The game is just now launching its first beta on October 20th, but our channel, like many others, were given access a bit early, so we could really put the title through its paces. And let me tell you, we did our due diligence.
Well, hold on. Sorry. Just real quick first impressions of what it looks like. This looks a lot like Outriders. It looks a lot like Outriders. Just initial shot of that. It looks a lot like Outriders. Not a bad thing, just something to keep in mind.
Not only were Kodiak and I playing and collecting footage, but we brought in some backup and even played with some other content creators to help us fill in the gaps.
Yeah, I wish I could have played with some other content creators too. That would have been cool.
As we really aim to put the game's group content to the test. However, before we get into all of that, we need to take it way back to the beginning of our experience with the First Descendant. When you fire up the game, your first task will be to pick which of the three starting characters you want to play. Your first option is Lapik, a more traditional soldier-esque character equipped with a bionic arm that allows him to shoot out exploding projectiles. The second option, Viessa, is all about her ice abilities. She's a pure damage dealer with a number of icy moves in her toolkit. Finally, we have Ajax.
That's my main right there. That's my main. Ajax, boy. That's spooky. If he could play it. If I was playing it, I would main Ajax. My God, why would you do this to me?
Tankiest of our starters and the most defensive character in the game at this point. Ajax is capable of throwing down a number of different shields that become big game changers in cooperative play. Now, one thing that you don't have to worry about are the stats. Now, each of these three starting characters are balanced the exact same way. On paper, even though they have drastically different playstyles.
Wait, why would they be balanced stat-wise for... That's weird. Okay.
I also want to mention that your character doesn't determine what weapons you can use. Every character can use every weapon, so that's one less thing that you need to think about when making this choice. Now ultimately, you'll be able to unlock all of the characters in the game, but that'll require some serious farming, as we'll touch on that in just a bit. I think Nexon really sets things up nicely here. You get three interesting characters with diverse movesets as your main choices, and to be completely honest, they're all pretty good. At this point in our experience, the excitement was building, but we still had a long way to go to determine if the game was in a good shape. With With our characters selected, it was time to start the absolute grind that is the first Descendant leveling process, which is, for a lack of a better term, atrocious. Now look, we'll talk about the actual gameplay soon, but the truth is Nexon really underdeveloped the leveling.
That looked a lot like Naraka. I play so much Naraka, guys, which, by the way, check me out on the check out my Twitch channel right there. Boom, flash it right there. Boom, 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 boom. Very sick. Take a look at that. Wait, hold on. What was that? Nope. Oh god, I threw myself back a little bit.
Now look,
there
we'll
we
talk
go.
about the actual gameplay soon, but the truth is Nexon really underdeveloped.
Like, look, that was exactly like Naraka. I mean, it's like a lot of games, but still, it was just throws me back.
Experience, because as it currently stands,
The UI HUD looks
you move
similar
from
too.
one mission to the next, doing the exact same thing on repeat, zone after.
Take a look at the HUD real quick. So they have little gold. Yeah, so they have a gold gun, purple gun, and blue gun. I wonder, are those variants, or are those just like, are those variants in quality, or are those just secondary, primary, and tertiary weapons? It's interesting. Also, I'm looking at like the control scheme: Q for grenades, C for abilities. Yeah, it looks pretty standard. All right, moving on.
Every mission pulled from the same 3 or 4 tropes, and the devs simply replicated those from one mission to the next. Go to X location, kill waves of enemies as they spawn, defend some random beacon or box, and interact with the one item in an otherwise entirely empty world. It's the blandest of bland, on par with New World's original leveling experience, which pulls from the same playbook.
Interesting.
Bottom line, the questing is bad. And considering that we all experienced the game with a 2x XP multiplier enabled, I have no doubt that many players won't reach the end game before burning out unless they make some drastic changes. The real compound issue here is that leveling isn't a one and done process. There is a system in game that requires you to reset your character back to level 1 in order to get arch crystals.
Oh, so you have to prestige your character every time you want to level up? What are these arch crystals
Now, these
for,
are
then?
used for rune socketing, something vital to character progression. Bottom line, you'll be running through the leveling experience a lot, and that's not good considering how monotonous it really is. The saving grace here was the gunplay itself, which I will happily admit is good. The mechanics of moving around.
I do love when they have games where it's like a third person game, but then it goes straight into first person for those long range weapons. Those always look it's so cool. Just that zoom in and out.
The world and firing your weapon and abilities is fun and satisfying. And let's be clear, that's a big deal in looter shooters, because if Nexon got that aspect of the game wrong, you better believe people will
big
be
damage.
bailing before they ever reach any sort of endgame. Now, what works well is the game's faster pacing. It's a bit more arcadey when it comes to the movement, but that actually works well with the content. Anything slower or heavier just wouldn't fit the nature of the game. We were shocked to find, however, that certain things like crouching, hiding behind cover, and ledge grabbing just aren't a part of the game. It's 2022, and for these basic systems not to be part of the game, it's a bit of a letdown. However, the game
Yeah, that is a huge bummer if you can't even like wall latch. You can't even grab anything. That's weird. You have a grapple hook. You can grapple hook stuff, but you can't wall latch. That's weird.
gameplay
I'd have put it in the game, Nexon. Just like I would put me in the game too. Give me access, Nexon.
I think I could speak for our whole squad when I say it's genuinely fun to play around with your kit, experiment with your abilities, and learn how to weave them into the gunplay. Now, what's sorely lacking is any sort of evolution to these skills. Even at level 40, the cap during our preview period, there's seemingly nothing that changes the nature of your abilities. That's something I think the team should seriously explore further, especially considering the fact the game's rune system is so expansive, which feels...
Dude, that guy with the big freaking horns on him looks so cool, dude. Oh my god. That looks so awesome. Sorry, he just looks badass.
Beam weapon
Looks like a Warframe.
little
Ooh,
deeper,
that's a
and
six
we
sniper.
picked the developers' brains on this topic to confirm if this is how weapons are going to be upon full release. Their answer? It turns out there will be a third tier of weapon in the yellow legendary rarity that will feature perks. Depending on the perk, the weapons will have
that
a
a boss
special
fight?
usage
Dude.
and play a critical role
at that
as an
boss fight.
essential gimmick for fighting Colossus, one of the most expansive systems in the game.
Okay.
This is very much a
Mods?
system inspired by the likes of Warframe, which the
Ah!
first Descendant is
He said it. He said the thing.
destined to be compared to, as unlocking and using Descendants is pretty much on par with how Warframe handles their frames. The system itself is a bit overwhelming at first, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes
Not if you play Warframe. This looks like an a very empty looking mod selection. And crazy like Atlas augments over here, anything making your pyro do more AoE damage, nothing like that. All right, interesting.
but nonetheless important. Now there are a few other options tied to this system as well, such as enhancing runes, increasing their power, as well as combining runes to create new runes. You can even change up the rune symbol on a slot to pair with the rune placed on it, directly cutting its overall cost in half. Now, like I said before, it's the most expansive system in the game, albeit not super deep.
Doesn't look that
expensive, though. This is where I think the team can explore further if they want to drive more meaningful
like 8
change
options
to the way a character plays. Right now, runes are largely flat stat boosts, which is a boring and antiquated way of progressing your character.
I agree. That sounds boring as shit. Oh yeah, my character do has more health, and now it do more base damage. It's not that fun. I mean, it's not bad. It's good to have some progression, but it's not. It's early beta. I'm almost certain this is going to be changed. I really hope it's going to be changed.
Can't lay into that enough. I think everyone would be much more interested in a system that allows you to slot runes that actually change the way you play, allowing for more customization that fits the need of the challenge I'm preparing for. But with the current system, you spend a lot of time doing the math to figure out how to eke out just a few more percentage points of gains or avoid a certain element of damage type. And that's just not something a vast majority of players are going to want to spend time doing over and over again. Couple that with the fact that there is no loadout system for these runes that carry over across all your unlocked characters, so you can't even save a build if you want to swap over. That's not good. Now, runes, while not perfect, already play a massive role in the game, especially when you consider that the game's group content, Void Intercept battles, are incredibly promising. Once you queue up, your team of 4 will be teleported into the Void, where you'll take on a Colossus, a massive boss with weak points and a number of raid-style mechanics. I can't say this system is entirely new or super unique.
Freaking literally Warframe Destiny combo. That's what I'm into. It's what I want, dude. Let's do this.
But it is damn fun. And even though we were playing as a 3-stack, we had a great time trying to take down these larger-than-life enemies. My only real critique with this part of the game is the fact that the scaling is just not right. At max level, with a fine selection of weapons and runes, we were still struggling to take on anything around our level. Bump that up even more to a Colossus above our level, and forget it. It's entirely possible that we were missing some key rune or system in taking these harder enemies down, but it was certainly not obvious if it was there.
Spooky would have figured it out, okay? Spooky play a game like this all the time. Spooky is perfect person to ask to do your early access, guys. Come on! Next on! Come on! Fucked up.
Now, this system could be great for the game, and I hope the team realizes that. There are some kinks to work out for sure. Sadly, there's just nothing unique or special about each part of the world that helps it stand out.
Yeah, that is an empty looking location.
Aside from the palette swap. If you tie this back into our discussion about the questing, you can start to understand why it was such a boring experience. The only splash of color in an otherwise bland experience was the grappling hook that every character gets. It allows you to explore the world both horizontally and vertically, which is nice. But sadly, it isn't a physics or momentum-based tether like Spider-Man's web slinging or Pathfinder in Apex. Instead of a buttery smooth grapple that launches you smoothly around objects and carries momentum, it instead sends you directly to your target, then shoots you upward, killing all momentum entirely, and making it impossible to weave into combat. Now, if we go back to the fact that the game again doesn't have any sort of ledge grapple mechanic, you can really begin to see how clunky the grapple actually is.
Yeah, that is pretty bad. Holy shit. I'm like watching, I'm like, oh, maybe he's being a little harsh. No, that looks pretty bad. I want to see that again. Why am I just putting it back?
Have any sort of ledge grapple mechanic.
I'm going to bring that back again. Here we go. Let's take a look.
It sends you directly to your target, then shoots you upward.
Yeah, he has to like curve
momentum entirely, and making it impossible to weave.
A lesser gamer would call that a deal breaker. I would call that an opportunity
into combat.
It does look awful, though.
Go back to the fact that the game again does. Now, while this isn't a worth your time review, and primarily a first impressions of a game still not released, I am confident in our assessment that the game in its current state will struggle to resonate with the voracious looter shooter community. First Descendant has a long road ahead of it if it hopes to stand out in the genre, and we genuinely hope the developers take these criticisms to heart.
All right, we're gonna call it there for that. So, all right, after looking at it, let's bring you guys over here to me. Let's hang out. So after looking at it, and again, I'm not really that upset about not getting into the beta. I do wish I got into the beta, but it is what it is. After taking a look at it, though, the game looks like they said unfinished. I would have loved to have explored that world for myself and figure out those things and come to my own conclusion. But considering this is all I'm going to get at this point is just watching a 50-hour a person's review of the game after 50 hours of playing, And I can honestly say the game still looks beautiful. It is kind of what I expected. I was expecting it to look a little more Warframe, a little less Outriders. But I mean, when you make a game with the same kind of influences as Outriders, like, oh, or Destiny, Warframe, you put them together, you're going to probably get what kind of looks like Outriders. So yeah, I mean, the game looks good and it looks like a lot of fun. I still want to play it, and I can't wait to eventually, if they're an open beta or when they finally just release the game, I'm going to absolutely play it. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video of me just being annoying and reacting to someone's take on it, since I wasn't able to play and get my own opinion. It was nice to be able to at least watch that and get some information on the game. Again, it looks fantastic. I still want to do it. I still want to check it out. So, you know, Nexon, come on, dude, let me in. Like, let's do it. Let's get together. I'll play it. I'll be honest, but I'll be very gracious. Okay, I'll be honest and gracious. No, but that being said, if you guys like this video, please give it a like. Please give it a subscribe. It just lets the algorithm gods that you know that you like this content and that you want to watch more. And yeah, you guys can always follow me on Twitch. That's where I do all of my content. I do a lot of looter shooters as well. A lot of looter shooters, a lot of MMORPGs, and I play a little bit of Lost Ark lately. So come on down, hang out, spend some time. I'm gonna go live today. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic day or night, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what you guys are up to, and I will see you next time.